Today's Midday Kentucky cooking segment brought to you by Creative Kitchen and Bath, where you will always cook in style.
Welcome back to Midday Kentucky. Chef Allison Davis here in the Wild Thyme Kitchen, and I'm fixing some delicious Greek stuffed chicken breasts today. Right now I'm starting with some raw chicken. This is I can't wait for you guys to try this at home, but this is just some of my favorite foods all together, and it's the best part about it is it's a one-pot meal. It is vegetables, meat, cheese, everything all in one dish, and it's going to be cooked off in the oven at 400 degrees. And it's going to have everything ready to go. So first thing off, I'm going to start with the chicken, and that's why I've got some gloves and a separate knife. Just always be cautious and aware of cross-contamination when you're working with raw chicken, because we don't want to mix the raw chicken in with the vegetables until, you know, we get it into the oven, and just be cautious of that when you're working in the kitchen. So the first thing we're going to do with our chicken breast, I've tossed them in a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, and these are getting some slits cut in them. I'm not cutting all the way through the chicken. I'm just cutting some slits, like maybe 5 or 6 slits into each chicken breast, okay? And that's going to be like a little cavity that we can open up here in a little bit, and you'll see why. All right, I'm going to switch this knife out and gloves, and then we're going to talk about our filling. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take in this bowl, and we're going to mix in some olive oil, not too much, just maybe like a tablespoon, and we're going to add some parsley. We're going to add some fresh lemon. This is really kind of the marinade, right, for all of our vegetables and our chicken, all right? So the Greek flavors, we're adding lots of lemon. You see that's very, very common. And then to that, we're having our parsley, and then we're going to chop up a little bit of fresh dill here. Got a brand new knife, and dill, honestly, if you want, you could just break it up with your hands because it's so delicate and fine. But we're just going to give it a little chop here, and we're going to add this in. Another herb that would be really great in this, that would go well with those Greek flavors, is your mint, and I love mint in Greek food. All right, you see it's a little bit dry, so I'm going to add just a touch more olive oil to kind of thin that out. And if you like that lemon, certainly you could add a little bit more lemon juice into that. All right, so now we kind of have our marinade set to the side. All right, what I have gone ahead and prepared for us is some sliced red onions. I've got some sliced zucchinis that I cut in half lengthwise, and then I just made some thin strips. And then we're going to cut some thin slices of tomato. I'm going to use a different knife on a tomato. This is one of the knives that I love to use. It's a serrated utility knife, and it's just perfect for when you're cutting tomatoes. I'm going to cut the base off, and then we're just going to make some nice, thin strips. All right, now if you haven't already figured out where we're going, it's going to be quite colorful, and we're going to go back to our chicken, okay? I've got our chicken in our baking dish, and what we're going to do is we're going to start to just stuff the cavities. So I'm going to take a little tomato, maybe a little zucchini, a little bit of the red onion, and we're just going to start to kind of layer that in to our chicken breast, okay? Nothing super fancy here. We're just kind of giving it some nice colors, okay? The red onion's a little bit tricky, but we just cut those into half moons. And if you wanted, and you're having difficulty, just interchange the tomato and the zucchini and just sprinkle the onion, right on top. So back and forth, just slicing it and sliding it right into those cavities, or those slits, one way or the other. All right, and then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our marinade, we're going to pour this over the top of our chicken. So we're getting all those fresh Greek herbs worked into our vegetables. This is looking so pretty. And then the final topping, of course, we can't have our Greek stuffed chicken without some feta. And I also have a little bit of mozzarella that we could break apart and kind of put on top of this. But if you can imagine, this is just delicious. I hope you guys will go to our website and find this recipe. And you can find the recipe at middaykentucky at wtbq.com/recipes tab. Click on that and enjoy this one-pot dinner. And I'm Chef Allison Davis. You can find me at Instagram at Chef Allison Davis, and we'll be right back after this short break.